Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today as I just finished Slammiversary 2020. Honestly, my first time watching Impact and probably since AJ Styles left, which would probably be like 2013. I've seen some clips here and there along the way. I won't lie to you. I basically tuned in just to see who the surprises were going to be. Basically, last night with the countdown to Fucktown, they showed us like the Big Net commercial that the Good Brothers had signed with Impact Wrestling. Word is that they've signed a 2-year contract that basically is going to be built around a New Japan deal. Kind of like New Japan will be the first option, and when they're not working there, they will be a part of the Impact Wrestling crew. But there was still surprises who was going to join the Fatal 4-Way Elimination Chamber. No, I said it twice. Not the Elimination Chamber, but just a Fatal 4-Way Elimination match for the vacant Impact World Champion. Basically, that was the big deal. The show opened with the Motor City Machine Guns coming out. That was sort of a surprise, a blast from the past. I think that the Motor City Machine Guns had wrestled at Impact sooner than later. They've been in the company not for a long stretch, but I think they have wrestled there. I know they were in Ring of Honor for a little bit. This was the first time that we'd seen them in the company, I think, since the banner change, though. I'll say that, the one surprise that popped up during the show was the free agent Heath Slater making his debut in Impact. You basically got to wear the same free agent shirt that he wore on Raw just last week. And it looks like he's gunning after being one of the main guys. He said he wanted to be in the World Heavyweight Championship picture. And then, during the show, in the main event, we had Rich Swann coming out as a former X-Division champion, taking the slot that we really thought was going to be for one of these guys that had been released from WWE. Once Rich Swann came down and we were sort of in this, like, what the fuck's going on state, Eric Young came out next. Eric Young came out next, and basically he was the surprise guy, basically coming down saying that this was going to be a fatal 5-way elimination match. The show overall was pretty good. It wasn't great. I did think I liked the way that Impact shot their show over the way that WWE shoots their show. Surprisingly, it was less able to tell that there was no wrestling fans out in the crowd. I think I have to go out of my way to thank Watch Wrestling. It's been a long time since I had streamed a show. Watch Wrestling has consistently been there since about 2010, hosting these shows. With the WWE Network, I didn't even really know that streams were still alive, but I was able to jump on this one. Motor City Machine Guns, they defeated the Rascals. Rascals had an open challenge in the opening match. Very heated, very hot match. Motor City Machine Guns, after all these years, still have it. They still can go. They got the win in a really good opener. From there, we went to Moose versus Tommy Dreamer. This is when I really got confused over what the hell TNA is doing, because they had told us that they're going to have a Impact World Championship Fatal 4-Way at the end of the show with a surprise guy, but we've got Moose walking around with the old-fashioned TNA World Heavyweight Championship belt. So is it kind of like Raw and SmackDown, even though they only have one show? They have two champions. They've got the Impact World Champion, and they've also got the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. I don't get it. Moose got the win over Tommy Dreamer. Tommy Dreamer's wearing like the old school, it said Moose Sucks Egg shirt. That was probably the most enjoyable thing out of this match. Kylie Ray won a gauntlet for the gold match. She eliminated Taya Valkyrie to get the win here. Kylie Ray, a really good over wrestler. She was a part of the AEW roster. It kind of made it seemed like she was going to be one of the main, women in AEW, and then surprisingly, before I think Fight for the Fallen, she just asked for her release when she was supposed to be on the show and just wasn't on it. Kylie Ray ended up getting released. There was rumors that she just didn't want to wrestle anymore and that she was even wrestling, and then popped up in Impact right after that. I have always kind of wondered, especially with how well it's getting over in AEW right now, was Kylie Ray, sort of booked to be this heel character, that they were going to turn her from this lovable babyface to a heel, and she didn't want any part of that because she thought it would kill her character, and she could be like the lovable kind of like Bayley type from back in the day. But I don't know. I never heard the real story over why she asked for her release and was let go from AEW. From there we got a Chris Bay defeated Willie Mack, X Division Championship. Really nothing that great about it right there. A match that really confused me was the North going up against Kim Shamrock and Sami Callihan. Kim Shamrock, I would keep going back and forth. Sometimes I would look at him in the match and thought that he still looked like the Kim Shamrock from WWF back in 1998. And other times, the lighting would hit him and he looked like Father Time out there. Still surprised that Shamrock's able to go out there and still give it a go. But the North, they got the win. They kept their Impact Tag Championships, and I guess this is the 1-year anniversary of them winning the belts at last year's Slammiversary. We're sort of giving a promo saying that they are the best. They defeated everybody, and this is when I thought the Good Brothers were going to make their way out to the stage and basically challenge the North for the tag titles at a later date, whether that's going to be actually on the Impact television show or the next pay-per-view, something that says this is why they gave the Good Brothers all of this money. But instead, the Motor City Machine Guns came back out on the stage and basically said they had heard that they're the new #1 contenders. Makes no sense at all. And that they're going to have a match on Impact on Tuesday on AXS. I at this point, I had no clue what was going on. The Good Brothers, maybe were they going to wrestle as singles guys? Maybe was Bully Ray bringing back the Aces and Eights, and both of these guys were going to be in the gang? I was still excited for the main event, but I had no clue what was going on, and wondering at this point why I was even watching the show. Match of the night. Repeat. Match of the night. Deonna Purrazzo beat Jordynne Grace for the Knockouts Championship. Purrazzo was able to lock in a double armbar to make Jordynne Grace tap out. Really good match. Deonna Purrazzo, I knew about her in NXT, but this was kind of like the first match that I'd really seen her actually wrestle in. She took the fight to Jordynne Grace, made her tap out right there in the middle of the ring, and easily the best match of the entire night. Main event came. Eddie Edwards, your new Impact champion, was able to defeat Ace Austin to get the win. Ace Austin basically had his bully buddy come out and attack Eddie Edwards once this is all said and done, and then the Good Brothers made their way down where they kind of had a face-off. And at that point, the Good Brothers basically ran off Ace Austin, and they call him like because they were calling Eric Young the Madman. I don't remember who Ace Austin's buddy is, but we had Eddie Edwards and the Good Brothers drinking some beers to end the show, looking like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Luke Gallows had a little case of the yips. He slipped on the stage, and he dropped his beer when they tossed it into him like Stone Cold Steve Austin. So I'm not really sure where they're going with the Good Brothers. It looks like they're going to be a babyface team, but I'm guessing that we're not going to get Super Eric. We're not going to get Aces and Eights. We're not going to, we got EC3 at the very end of the show. That was probably the easiest one that I thought was going to go to Impact Wrestling. My biggest thing is that they can tie the Carter family back into this character, which is something that I died for WWE just to make one freaking joke about it. I mean, they were able to get Dix Carter to do an interview for a Kurt Angle documentary. You don't have to have her at a live show. You don't have to have her on Raw. You didn't even really have to have her do an on-screen promo, but just have EC3 deliver a promo saying that he's going to win one for his aunt. I think that he was her nephew. I think this is what it was. But just play off what that character was built off of. A lot like when we all thought that Mick Foley might have been the anonymous Raw general manager. And if he would have been revealed as the anonymous Raw general manager, meant that he would have been GMing Raw when he was a part of Impact. It would have been like the best payoff of all time to screw over the competition. So, I don't know. We'll see what comes down with this. I'm guessing that, even though this was the pay-per-view of surprises, we're still probably going to be seeing a lot more of the free agents pop up in Impact sooner than later. Impact on Tuesday might be a must-watch show. Peace out, guys.